Hi, thank you for coming back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Erin, and this video is all about 3 documentaries that have impacted my life for the past few months. So the first one that I'm gonna highlight is Erin Brokovich, and this I actually found on Netflix because I was just looking through documentaries and I loved the description. So then when I actually watched it and I saw how dramatized it was, that was very nice for me because I like to read books that are kind of like that, like historical fiction. So I feel like some parts are based on the true story and some parts are more theatrical to keep the audience engaged. But at the end of the day, her story is still so enticing. This woman is a single mother and she has more than 2 kids, and she stumbles into a job in law and immediately just takes over the space. She used to be in pageants and she actually didn't finish college because her first husband wound up marrying her and taking care of her, and then gave her 2 kids, and then her next husband gave her another kid, but they both divorced her, and she was just left in this place of looking for jobs because her current situation wasn't working or anything like that. So then I won't give away like the whole story or anything, and it's also it's not like it's not I don't know, because like I said, the movie is theatrical but it's based on a true story, so this is just a synopsis as much as possible. I am a bit of a spoiler though, so plug your ears if it's something you think you'll want to know about in the movie. Either way, she winds up taking over this law enforcement office because she got into a car accident the day that she went to a job interview, and really she went to go get her case solved and like work with a lawyer to get money from the person who hit her, but it wound up not going well and they didn't really call to check up on her. So she went back to the office herself and was knocking on the door like, what's up, like what's good, oh so you're about to give me a job because you didn't solve my case. And honestly it just worked out. She started working there, she learned all the rules, she was asking questions on her own because she had her own curiosity and a drive to know the truth. So that was really important to me, like how much she was willing to dig and how far she was willing to go no matter what it took, because there were days where she was at an office knowing that people were watching her. She was in this office like for water management territory because it has to deal with the water and the pollution in a certain town that's like a little bit outside of her town. And she basically was getting like borderline death threats from this company because it's this major corporation, and especially with the timing of when all of this took place, I'm like, this is something that's so prevalent still to this day, and I see so many activists working in this light as well, and it's just really cool to see how her situation worked out, because I won't spoil the ending. That's what I won't do. Because for how it worked out, it just really shows me more of a positive light in the fight. I feel like so many people are, not so many people, but I feel like it's a bit gravitating to hear negative news, like, or just like hopelessness when it comes to wanting to do good and do better. But I love following up on stories and pages and imaginations where everything works out. Like, it's all good. It's all good. It's just gonna be good. That feels really boosting to me. So I cut it back on whenever I want. Another thing that really pushed me was that every scene she was wearing like her regular style. Like, she would go to farms and she would be dressed up in heels, but she would still be her natural self, and she would talk to people and communicate with them, and she could get one of the toughest peoples in the neighborhood to commit to her story and commit to her case and like join forces with her, and she would be persistent. And all of that together, it's like I want to hear more stories like this from all angles. Like, let's just keep showing up for good and keep spreading the fact that our efforts matter and our efforts will work if we keep going. So that's the first documentary, Erin Brokovich.
Adding to the fact that this can really relate to today's time, I'm looking at Memphis Story so closely because it's a repeating of history, and I am always constantly hoping that justice prevails.
So the next documentary that I super duper really love and enjoy is Moana. Not that Moana, this Moana. This is what the animated version of Moana was based on. And the reason this documentary speaks volumes to me is because it's it's just cut in film type scenes. Like everything is in chronological order as far as I can tell. Like it's just almost vlog style but recorded by somebody else. And it's not over like one day or anything. It's over a course of time. It's actually a pivotal point in the Samoan culture as a couple people are being initiated. And so I think that's where a lot of the inspiration for the movie also comes into play. It's really beautiful to me to hear their natural singing and understand their pace and like hear their laughter. It's transcription of, I mean, it's a translation captioned movie, but hearing their natural dialect and their hearing their natural dialect and their native language is really refreshing, because I love watching like films in a different language just to watch it and just to see like where the inflections are. And because different languages, at the end of the day, they still kind of carry the same rhythm. So if somebody's asking a question or they're telling a joke, or you know, like it kind of has a similar tune. So just learning that and being observant of that is really cool for me. But yeah, I love Moana. And so when I was looking up to try to watch it one day, I found out about this documentary through that, and I was like, yo, what is this? And it's all in black and white for the most part, very minimal color. And the island that they're on is a section of the Polynesia. It's a section of the Polynesian Islands. So they're kind of like reminding me of Hawaii, but it's so nice to confirm that it's not Hawaii, because I never looked into it when I was watching the animated movie. But now, after looking up again to get a refresh and seeing this, and then even in the documentary you can tell like, oh, that's not Hawaii, it's someplace else. So yeah, there's this really cool hunting scene that's one of my favorite parts, because, well, it just was a big community effort, and everybody was putting their intelligence together to try to make sure that the tribe stayed safe. And it was a whole lot of communal systems and or communications to let other people know, like, hey, we're in danger, but in a soft and silent way, to not scare anyone. Because it was either a cheetah or, I think a cheetah. It was some sort of like lion-esque, like large, dangerous and terrifying cat that was roaming through their grounds. At first it was just the cub. The little kid wanted to keep the cub, but the parents were like, nah, get that back to the jungle. And then that's when they found the parent, you know, probably looking for their child, and like it just grew into a whole thing. And so the cat just kept coming back and forth, and basically they had to make a choice to protect their tribe, and they did it together. And yeah, it's a nice scene. It's heart-wrenching. There's a lot of moments that, you know, because this is a real story too. It's like, this is like real, like this is just camera on on this like whole tribe. And they're not scripted as far as I know, but there was some interviewing, I think, that happened in order to know what all happened. It wasn't like an interview scenario where it was like a reporter behind the camera and then somebody situated in front to answer. It was more of like the narration gave answers that weren't really spoken of because the actions were just taking place. So we were learning about it through visual learning. We were learning about it through visuals. That documentary is super duper cool. It's a whole bunch of great music still because of their traditional music, and I really love seeing the ties from that documentary to the new film. I love Moana and I love Moana 2, and I also love the documentary. So I'm gonna throw in watch all three, but of course definitely watch the documentary first. The third documentary and final documentary that has been impacting my life for the past few months is a biopic of Emma Dupree entitled Little Medicine Thing, Emma Dupree, Herbalist. This documentary is a short one, but she's a good one, and it's packed with lots of information about herbs, and I constantly go back to it over and over to see what I know now through further studies and what I've rediscovered in walking through gardens and walking through my neighborhood in my city, and seeing if there's some connections that I didn't click on before, because I was introduced to this in maybe 2022, but I find myself coming back to it like every 3 months, every 6 months, because it's not even an hour long, it's not even 40 minutes long. And it's available on the East Carolina University library website, their digital library website. So I've just been watching it through there. It's so easy to pull up. You just type in Emma Dupree documentary, and it's one of the first 3 links. Just look for digital.lib.ecu.edu, and you'll be able to stream it just like that and read up on some more info as well in the descriptions on the same website. And just in general, digging through her story is so beautiful. Like, she was just the medicine woman, like the woman that everybody went to, or if she heard that you had something, she was just coming to you and bringing you things that could help you. And she was teaching people, and it's just, yeah, it's a really beautiful story because she's just taking a walk through her garden, but casually mentioning some extreme and major gems that I feel like you can't even take pen to paper and be able to note take on it all. It's something that you have to start experiencing and learning through the plants as well, because of how much knowledge she holds. It's just like second nature to her. She even calls them by, nicknames that we don't always hear from the plants, which is another good thing, because when you're reading other herbalism books or studying about herbs and you're reading, for me at least, I read historical fiction, like I said. So if I'm reading a book and they mention an herb, it's a little confusing to find the botanical name, but hearing the nicknames as much as possible is also helpful to talk to your elders about it, or talk to elders in their community, in different communities, and be like, oh, what do you know about this? Or like, oh yeah, that's this and this is good with that. Oh yeah, this is good with that, and that is good for this, and like just being able to bounce into conversation in that way. So it's learning a whole new language in and of itself when it comes to the plant world. And I think that's so cool to have something like this archived and like just so easily and readily able to pull up, because I feel like stories like that matter, and I feel like stories like hers matters, as well as the knowledge that she's holding and sharing so willingly matters. So yeah, that's definitely worth a watch. So Emma Dupree was actually born on July 4th in 1897, and she passed away in March of 1996. And then there are a couple other documentaries of hers as well, but the one I'm talking about is the one from East Carolina University. Emma Dupree is from Pitts County, and so the documentary I'm referencing for this video is from 1979. So it's a lot of living. It's a lot of living in this 34-minute video, and yeah, it just gives me something again to aspire to, like being yourself and being generous and being of a space that's just bigger than you. So I definitely think checking out all 3 of these documentaries will give you a boost of inspiration to delve into your passions deeper. So I hope you enjoy them, and if you've already seen them, let me know what you thought about it, and let me know what you're doing the first time you watched it. Like, how did you stumble upon it? And if you take a look into any of these documentaries, definitely come back and tell me your opinions, and tell me what you didn't like, or tell me what you wish it had, because I just want to hear it all, and I love hearing from you guys. So I said I was going to do this in January. Don't fight me. Yeah. Okay, no, for real. See you in the next video. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on IG if you're not a hater. And have a blessed day.